The third eye is one of the psychic faculties that belongs to the sixth sense. It is not a physical eye, but rather a visual ability that allows us to see beyond the material and illusory reality we have lived in all our lives. The third eye is the name given to the ability to see what not everyone is able to perceive. For example, seeing energy, seeing people's auras, or even seeing the presence of entities, ghosts. The ability to see energy in all its forms has always existed, but theoretical scholars have each chosen to give their own interpretation instead of opening their eyes and focusing on developing this visual faculty. The third eye is what allows you to develop energy vision, which can then branch out into multiple forms of visual perception. For example, the ability to see auras, which is very different from the ability to see entities. Each visual ability is distinct and does not necessarily include the others. For instance, being able to see people's auras does not automatically mean you can see entities, just as being able to see entities does not mean you can also see the structure, sometimes called the codes of the matrix. The third eye encompasses all of these visual faculties, but each practitioner decides whether to develop only one of them or to pursue them all, since every skill requires its own specific training and technique. Theoretical scholars do not know how the third eye really works, because they have not developed it. Therefore, they base their teachings on what has been said by other theorists and teach that kind of material to others as if it were the only truth. They are not at all interested in discovering what the truth is through practice, because theory is enough for them. It's enough to talk about what they do not know in order to appear more intelligent. But the truth about the third eye can be discovered much more easily by practicing on it, which is what I have done and what I intend to teach you. This path will not be based on theory, but on practice, precisely so that you can discover what the truth is with your own eyes. So, first of all, let's understand what the third eye is and why you should not fear it. Previously, I taught you how to see the aura of other people, including your own, of course. So, through this practice, you began to use your third eye. The third eye is a faculty that everyone could develop, but due to misinformation, many fear it and therefore distance themselves from the development of this kind of faculty. Excluding from your life the ability to see reality is a serious mistake, because the ability to see what lies beyond allows you to evolve more quickly, to discover the truths that are being hidden from you, to know the mysteries that many talk about but no one can give a concrete answer to. Even if we don't realize it, excluding the faculty of seeing what lies beyond this illusory world is equivalent to excluding our sight from our lives. Just try for a moment to imagine how different your life would be if today you decided to blindfold yourself and never open your eyes again. You would live a blind person's life. Now, you might tell me that even blind people live a good life, that they can live without the need to see people's faces, the colors of everything around them, and that, after all, one can live well even without sight. Of course, even the blind can live a beautiful life despite not being able to see. But is it really the exact same thing? Do you really believe that having sight or not having it is almost the same? If that were the case, if you believe that sight doesn't make life better compared to the life a blind person must lead, then why don't you blindfold your eyes and keep them shut for the rest of your life? Now you understand much better that saying something is one thing, doing it is another. One thing is thinking for a moment about life as a blind person. For the first 2 seconds it seems easy, it seems almost the same, but right after that you realize that it's not at all an easy kind of life to live. No longer being able to see the faces of the people who talk to you, who love you, or who simply walk past you. To no longer be able to see the colors around you, the cute faces of animals, the height of skyscrapers. To no longer be able to see anything at all. It's not an easy life. Blind people didn't spontaneously choose that kind of life. They endured it, either from birth or due to accidents or various illnesses. But if blind people could choose, some of them would immediately choose to regain their sight. Others, having become accustomed to blindness, would choose to remain blind despite everything. This is because you, who have sight, know what there is to see. You know how many visual emotions are being missed by someone who can't see. But some of the blind, who have no idea what they have been missing their entire lives, would be afraid to open their eyes and start seeing because they are afraid of what they don't know. It doesn't matter if you, who have been seeing your whole life, try to reassure them and do everything you can to convince them that there's nothing wrong with being able to see. It would be useless because some of them would still respond by saying they don't want to know anything about it, that they want to remain blind. You, who can see, know that there is nothing dangerous about being able to see, nothing wrong with using your own eyes, and it's not something that goes against God or that should be punished because it's a luxury that others don't have. Yet, some of them will tell you that not seeing is beautiful, that not knowing the truth is beautiful, and that, in fact, being blind is a miracle because being able to see is boring, while not seeing allows for free imagination. For example, it lets you imagine the face of the person in front of you instead of seeing the real one. But let's be honest, these are just the words of someone who is very afraid of facing reality. Blind people are not to blame for being blind, but why on earth should you, who can see, who has a perfectly functioning eyes, choose to blindfold yourself and stop seeing what surrounds you for the rest of your life? It wouldn't make any sense, and yet, with your third eye, that's exactly what you are doing. Those who truly see energy and everything that can be seen with energy vision know that there is nothing dangerous about being able to see, nothing wrong with it, nothing that goes against God, because they are your eyes, and God does not punish you for using them, just as He doesn't punish you for using any part of your body, including your brain, including your sixth sense. Many people do not accept their own bodies and do not accept their own faculties. They may even condemn or reject them because, due to religious indoctrination, we have been conditioned to fear our own mental, intuitive, and psychic abilities. The third eye has always belonged to you, and there is nothing evil within it. You just need the courage to take the first step, because once you start seeing the truth with your own eyes, you will realize for yourself that there is absolutely nothing to be afraid of. Many people fear the third eye because they have studied as theorists, not as practitioners, and haven't got the slightest idea of what the real experience is, so they merely speculated and taught completely incorrect theories. For example, immediately set aside the idea that the third eye has to open, because the third eye is not physical and doesn't work like in cartoons. It is a faculty that will develop by training your two eyes. In fact, the third eye is the name of the psychic ability that allows you to see the truth in many various areas. But to do so, you will need to train your two eyes with specific techniques that will let you develop this ability. This does not mean that the central third eye doesn't exist, but these are just scattered ideas from those who confused everything and in turn taught random knowledge. So, give yourself time to learn, to recognize what is true and what is not, through real experience. The third eye is not like physical eyes, whereby you just open them to see everything around you and then close them to see nothing anymore. The third eye evolves gradually. It is not an immediate evolution, which is why you shouldn't expect scary experiences or for the third eye to open overnight and show you the whole truth in a single instant, so much so that you get traumatized by the excessive amount of information gathered. Don't worry, don't have fears caused by such beliefs, because it's absolutely not like that. In fact, it's quite the opposite. After the first experiences you will have with energy vision, you'll even complain about why it doesn't happen all at once, because your initial fear will be completely replaced by excitement and a huge curiosity to learn more. The third eye doesn't open, it evolves, and this requires time and determination, which not everyone has. The third eye is not just about seeing entities. It is an enormous potential that, first of all, allows you to see energy, the matrix, auras, and if you wish, also entities, but you are not forced to. Get rid of the idea that the third eye means seeing entities against your will, because that is absolutely not the case. You can choose what to develop and what to learn to see. Do you want to see entities? Fine. Then you will practice those specific techniques to learn how to see them. Don't want to see them? Fine. Then don't practice those techniques, but practice those that will allow you to see energy, auras, and everything else. So, you understand that you are not forced to do anything you don't want to. The reason why others want to impose on us the belief that the third eye equals scary visions is the same reason why, as children, we were made to believe that if we didn't eat everything on our plate, the boogeyman or the big bad wolf would come to get us. They made us believe that the third eye is frightening and dangerous only to keep us still and good, obedient. If you could see the truth with your own eyes, you would discover firsthand all the lies we are told every day of our lives. But as long as you are not able to see with your own eyes, there will be nothing to fear. You will be completely obedient and submissive to all those who want to lie to you. And you will be unable to do anything to expose them, because you won't have any proof. The third eye is what allows you to have proof, because you will see it with your own eyes. During this journey, I will teach you how to develop the third eye with everything you need to know and practice in order to learn how to use it. Then it will be up to you to decide whether or not to practice, what pace to keep, whether to go slow or fast. What I want to tell you through my real experience with developed faculties of the third eye is that while before I was afraid of what I might see with a developed third eye, today I instead fear ignorance. I fear the inability to see what truly surrounds us. The more you develop your energetic side, the more you will want to evolve it further, because discovering that there is nothing to fear in keeping your eyes open will make you understand how wonderful it is to be able to use them. We were not born blind, but we stubbornly behave as such all our lives, only out of fear of seeing the truth. I assure you there is nothing to fear but your own closed mind. If you wish to deepen your knowledge of the third eye, continue with this spiritual journey. But first, don't forget to leave a comment below this article to share your thoughts with us.